Be warned, this video will contain spoilers. Yellowjackets Season 3 Episode 4 takes a step back from the chaos and intensity that often defines the series, but that doesn't mean it's lacking in emotional weight. If anything, the slower pacing is deliberate, allowing character dynamics to take center stage while setting up something bigger. One of the most intriguing aspects of this episode is how it gives Krueger's coach Ben the spotlight in a way we haven't seen before. Up until now, he's been a background figure, always there but never quite the focus. Here, however, he delivers a performance that is raw and deeply personal, making it impossible to ignore his presence any longer. His decision to leave isn't a surprise. He knows exactly what the girls are capable of, and he wants no part of it. But what adds another layer of tension is the knowledge that he wasn't the one who set fire to the cabin. That mystery still lingers, keeping the suspense high even in a slower-paced episode. One of the episode's most unexpected strengths is its emotional depth. Grief has always been a key theme in Yellowjackets, but this is the first time this season has truly leaned into it. Ben's confrontation with Shauna leads to a moment of painful honesty that shocks everyone. His words serve as a stark reminder that there was once a world outside of the wilderness, a life beyond survival. For a brief moment, they are forced to acknowledge the trauma they've endured, something the show has often depicted through action and horror rather than raw dialogue. This shift is refreshing, making the episode stand out in a different yet equally compelling way. The young women's moment of mourning for their past lives is heartbreaking, but it also feels necessary. No matter how much they try to adapt, they are still trapped in a nightmare with no end in sight. The burning question remains: who set the cabin on fire? It's a mystery that will likely haunt the group, and Shauna is a strong contender for the culprit. Her desire for power has been growing, and while she might deny it, her actions tell a different story. She is becoming more manipulative, and her hunger for control could have driven her to make such a bold move. Meanwhile, in the present timeline, adult Shauna is grappling with a different kind of loss, the loss of that fire within her. It's an interesting parallel, but it feels like we've seen this struggle before. Hopefully, the show will take her character in a new direction rather than retreading familiar ground. Then there's Van and Ty's storyline, which took a turn at an alarming rate. Their decision to willingly feed the wilderness in hopes of keeping Van's cancer at bay is both unsettling and fascinating. It's clear that the wilderness still has a hold on them, and the fact that Ty's wife and child have been completely sidelined only adds to that eerie sense of isolation. Each woman in the present seems stuck in a loop, clinging to the idea of normalcy while the past continues to pull them back. At this point, they all seem a little too composed, as if they are resisting something inevitable. One of Yellowjackets' biggest challenges has always been balancing its past and present timelines. With only 10 episodes in the season, the midpoint needs to hit hard. While this episode slows things down, it's clear that the show is building towards something major. The absence of chaos, screaming, and cannibalism isn't a problem as long as the payoff is worth it. Episode 5 will be a crucial turning point, where all the small pieces finally start to fit together. The supernatural elements remain a looming question mark, and like the characters, we are all waiting for that confirmation. Of course, Yellowjackets wouldn't be Yellowjackets without a jaw-dropping cliffhanger, and Episode 4 delivers on that front. The shocking twist in the final moments caught me off guard, but I'm not ready to believe it just yet. This show has a habit of misleading its audience, playing with our expectations before flipping the script entirely. If this narrative shift turns out to be real, it could finally bring the present-day characters together and inject the season with a much-needed central mystery. Right now, Season 3 feels like it's laying the groundwork for something much bigger, and if the past seasons are any indication, that payoff is going to be worth the wait. What do you think? Do you believe the twist at the end, or is Yellowjackets just playing with us again? And who do you think really burned down the cabin? Let's hear your theories in the comments.